and former director BPCL, and this is going to be a great conversation. Let me first give you the opportunity, Mr. Ravi, of completing your point before I go to Mr. Dubey.
Yeah, good morning. I hope
Very
I'm
good
clear
morning.
now.
Yes, very much, sir.
Yeah, the short answer to your question is no. The vehicle owners need not be concerned as regards usage of ethanol blended fuel in their vehicles. To explain further, at every stage of implementation of ethanol blending in our country, it has always been preceded by detailed scientific evaluation and validation by conducting extensive field trials. And these studies have been jointly done along with reputed automobile research institutions, the vehicle manufacturers, and the oil companies. To give you a little more perspective, ethanol has been used as a mobility fuel since 1908 when the first T model of Ford Motors had come out. The current status is in US, E10 blending petrol is being dispensed. They're aggressively moving towards E15. Brazil, the leader in ethanol utilization, is at E27, aiming to move to E35. And more than 80% of the vehicles sold in Brazil are flex fuel vehicles, which can operate from 27% to 100% of ethanol. Many European nations, Canada, Japan, Thailand, etc., are aggressively promoting ethanol blended fuel in their country.
Mr. Dubey, come in here. Do you think Indian manufacturers have designed the engines enough and they have enough flexibility to manage higher ethanol content in their fuels?
Give my opinion on this technical issue because the automobile manufacturers would be the right guys to give. But what I can give you right now is I'll give you some data points here and leave for our critical thinking skills to understand what is it. I'll give you 4 data points. The first is, like Ravi said, it is about, all these fuels are introduced only after rigorous testing. Because it has to be understood that the fuel is used by us also. As a consumer, I am also a consumer, right, as the minister there. That is number one. So we need to believe in what the testing agencies have said, rather than, some individual influencers, they go and talking about technical things. The second data point is, you look at the kind of vehicles in Mumbai today. See, all these BS4 vehicles or four-wheelers who have come after BS4 introduction, they are fitted with your ECUs, the electronic control unit, which can, control that, the different parameters and adjust accordingly. Now, how many vehicles in Mumbai are before BS4? Because it was introduced in 2010. There are hardly any vehicle pre-BS4 in Mumbai. And this is one part. And if we look at 10 lakh vehicles, if there is a problem in this fuel, out of 10 lakh vehicles, even if 1% has faced a problem, 10,000 vehicles would have been outside, in this rainy season outside in Mumbai. This is the second data point. The third is the most interesting data point, right? We introduced 1% EBM in 2013, right? It was coming from a long time, but in 2013, it was 1%. In 2018, it was 5% ethanol. And in 2020, it was 8%. In 2023, it was 14%. In 2024, it is 19%. So it is not that, suddenly, and what is the great difference between 19 and 20%, you see? So it is, the last 2 years, we have been having this same fuel, right? So this is the third data point I'm giving you. And the fourth one, like Ravi has already told, Brazil has been doing E27 since 1993. And they have done, they have gone into ethanol base because of their strengths in producing ethanol. And they started it because of those 1973 oil crisis. And then 30 years, there have been all these Toyotas, these Hondas, and all these companies are operating there, which are operating here also. So, I mean, these are 4 data points I give you. I mean, let us use critical thinking skills, to understand, what is it actually.
Um, Mr. Mr. Ravi, as we moved gradually towards E85 and E100. Do you think that it will take a lot of R&D and not just from the oil companies, but also from the user industry or the OEMs who are manufacturing these vehicles and move towards the flexi fuel engine so that it can be easily absorbed? Of course, there is a benefit with respect to the kind of reduction in import that we do for crude as we increase ethanol content in fuel. But from an overall industry point of view, how do you look at it?
Oil industry part of it, you must be aware that the first set of retail outlets dispensing E85 ethanol blended petrol has already been launched last month. A couple of automobile manufacturers, starting from Maruti and Hero Motors, have already come out and proclaimed that they have already launched E85 compliant vehicles in our country. So that means these automobile manufacturers are also redesigning their vehicles so that it can run on higher blend grades of ethanol. As Mr. Raj has already explained, flex fuel vehicles are not new to the world. Flex fuel vehicles are running in US as well as in Brazil for a long time. In fact, in Brazil currently, 80% of the new vehicles which are sold in Brazil are flex fuel vehicles. And most of the automobile manufacturers who are present in Brazil are also present in India. So engine designs, vehicle designs are available, which I'm sure in a very since it was a chicken and egg story in terms of whether fuel should be made available or vehicle should be made available. But then the OEMs, the oil companies have demonstrated that we are capable of providing higher blended petrols, that is E85 and E100. So I'm sure with a couple of automobile manufacturers having already announced, all the other automobile manufacturers will also follow suit shortly.
Mr. Dubey, it's not just petrol where we are trying to blend. In diesel also, we are trying to move towards blending of isobutanol with diesel as well. Do you think the industry is prepared and the necessary scientific research is taking place along with industry body? Because I'm aware that ARA and OEMs and other and fuel OMCs are working closely to ensure that there's a blending comes in and they come out with the proper guidelines for that. Are you what kind of timeline that you see before start seeing blending in diesel as well coming in?
See, the direction and the intent is clear. You're talking of diesel. I'm talking of aviation turbine fuel, where we are looking out to rolling it out. Do you think there will not be sufficient testing before we use it for aircrafts? Forget about diesel engines which are running aground. See, so I'm very sure that when these kinds of initiatives are taken, one is we have the data from all over the world. See, with the vehicles we have, they're not very different from other vehicles all over the world, you see. So that data we already have. And then a rigorous testing process goes on before you launch such kinds of initiatives. So I will not be able to tell you the timeline, which I think the competent people would be telling you. But the intent is clear, that this is the way one should go. And this is one of the most decisive steps we have ever taken, to look at energy security. I only wonder, what would have happened what are the prices would have happened if this 20% was not available in the blending, and this additional 20% we were to import from abroad during this Hormuz crisis, So I think one kind of very decisive kind of a mandate which has been it has been taken. This one.
Mr. Dubey, I'm also curious to know, do you believe customers will tilt towards premium fuel as a result of this? I know that your view seems very clear that there's really no impact, but do you believe that at least for the more expensive vehicles, customers may actually feel that it's better to have some of the more expensive fuels, but at least that it's pure petrol?
Okay, let me give you another data point. I mean, it will be useful to look into. When we went in from octane 89, so people, we offered, I was in Indian Oil at that time, we offered XP95, it's 95 octane, okay? Now, if you use pure ethanol, it is 107 octane. Now, rating is 107. And we had this premium fuel, XP100, which we were selling at 160 rupees per liter. And it was 100 octane. And here we are giving you a fuel which has got a higher octane rating, So this is premium. For me, this is premium. Plus, we should not forget that we put in a lot of money, it was lakhs and crores we put in to upgrade our systems from, to BS6. Why would we go in if we're not concerned about the environment? And here is an environmentally friendly fuel we have. And having, speaking of small things, that about some kind of efficiency going down and other things, it is very small price to pay for such a big benefit. To our, you wouldn't, expose our children to this, toxic environment. And this is also one of the steps which is taking us closer to that. So this is my take on this.
And Mr. Dubey, I also wonder, there's been no impact on pricing.
One more thing before, allow me to say this.
Please.
You think racing cars are using ethanol-based fuels? You see, what more data can we give? And you think they are less sophisticated racing cars, or they are less expensive than the cars which we use? So they are using ethanol-based fuel because it reduces knocking. It increases your, efficiency of the engine part. It keeps your engine better because less knocking means the engine functions better at higher speeds. So,
right.
Okay.
And Mr. Dubey, there's been no impact on price as a result of everything that's happening, right? Do you believe that it's warranted or possible some kind of pass-through with regard to benefit?
I didn't get this.
So in the sense that because it's E20, is there a cost benefit to the OMCs as a result of which there should be a better price pass-through, a better profitability that OMCs have, which should be passed through to the customer?
No, I don't think that OMCs are having any, pass-through on this part, So these are all decided at a very, a different level, where the farmers are involved, the producers are involved, then the OMC comes in, then the taxes, those kinds of things, which right now, we're not in a position to say because of this should happen. But in the overall scheme of things, if you look at it, if we save so much on foreign exchange, say about, we have saved more than 2 lakh crores in foreign exchange, I think that should give us enough, encouragement that these 2 lakh crores have remained in India, instead of, fattening somebody else's purse outside the country. So this is another big thing. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Ravi, Mr. Dubey, thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us, giving us this perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the privilege.
Okay. And what we'll do, viewers, is slip in a very short break, come back, talk more. We'll start to try and understand as to what's playing out with regard to earnings Q1. What should we start to expect? Where will the outperformers lie for Q1 versus what could disappoint in terms of earnings? We'll talk about that and more. On the other side, we'll have Dhananjay Sinha of Systematics Group come in and speak to us about this.